Well, team, it looks like growth came into play today. We'll talk about it. Seeing some turnaround in healthcare, turnaround in defensive names. ARKK getting a big jump. Is this the turnaround for Kathy? Somewhere, somewhere, I can hear Kathy yelling, deflation, deflation. We'll talk about it right here on At the Close.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
Three consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
All right, let's get into this market. Looks like we hung out in the green today.
Was
It
that the
wasn't
dip?
too bad.
Was that the dip off the open? Was that the dip to buy down to 39.51? Was
Ooh,
that
I
it?
was looking for it. I was looking. One of the things that I had on my charts were a lot of hourly charts today, looking for those red to green moves in the stocks. Looks like we got a couple of them, but let's take a look at the wrap here. What did you
Yeah,
see in the
let's go.
markets,
Let's go
Joe?
through the commodities and futures here, and it hasn't been an easy day in the S&P. They did give you a couple looks at unchanged. Took out the pre-market low early. Looked like we can maybe get back to that area where we broke out from yesterday, but boom, we just ripped, and we're up 41 and a half handles here at 4,003. Back in the four handle, folks. We're in the four handle. Nothing up here. I keep telling you guys I don't have any daily levels on the upside, and I always tell the truth. 4009.50 is your current high. 39.51, as I mentioned, is the low. So that's a little over a 50-point range. That's not what the average ranges are. So if we get some momentum here to the upside, I don't know where we're going. Let the dollar, the buck is just rolling over. Look at that, down a buck 86. Two really bad days. That's fueling a lot of stocks. TLT made a little bit of a comeback. That's down 22 cents. Tight range with the bond market closed. Crude is not as impressive as the crude stocks. That's up 272 at 89.18. Gold, its best week I ever can remember. That's up 1540 at 1769.10. Silver not participating today, down 21.69. That's just a penny. Bitcoin continues to be plagued by the Bankman Freed or Bankless Freed debacle, down 1,600 at 16,018. And Ethereum futures, they're going the same way. They're down 7%, $93.50 and 1,215.50.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into some stock action today. Let's try to understand what the rotation was on the day. Of course, we can take a look at leadership. They still had a good day there. So at least I don't think we have to worry too much about leadership. Even Tesla closing into the green today. But once we get out of the top leaders, that's where we start seeing some of the trouble. When we look
There's
at a
some
stock like
damage.
UNH healthcare plans taking a big step down today. The industry overall, I have down about 4.4%. And there's some of these that are even down further than that, like UNH down 4.5% here as it's taking a big hit in the healthcare plan industry.
Yeah, I mean, this is, Dad mentioned this morning. Hey, some stocks are up, some stocks are down. I'm looking for news on these things, and the news is people are getting the hell out, and they're hitting bids that just, days and weeks of, the rally. They're just saying that's it. We're out. I mean, to me, it's you got to take profits. I'd rather try and take profits in something incrementally on the way up. Not seeing any news associated with this, but you had a couple red bars preceding this. Now it gets tough. What do you look for 490? That's another problem with a $518 stock. The spreads are wide. If someone comes in to sell a wide piece, they knock it down. But they're just flat out. We're hitting the button. We're out of these stocks. We're not working our way out of it. I don't know. It could be a little, to me, I mean, it seems a little bit harsh, but you know what? These stocks have had some good runs. Humana, same thing. You're giving back, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 days of gains in one simple session. The 520 area, you got Humana, you got UNH,
Got
Cigna,
CI,
doing
yeah,
that one,
CI,
same
Cigna,
thing. CI,
boom,
I mean,
disaster.
these kind of things, they turn. The big boys are just saying, we're done. We're out. We're rotating. So I don't know what the timing of it is, but it's just not limited to that. Look at you. Look at you in J. Your men are J and J down 548. I mean, come on. How often does
Hmm.
that happen? Kissing an all-time high on Tuesday. I'm afraid to look at my Merck. Merck. I got Merck. Let's look at Merck.
3.9.
Dow
Lily
four
down
down four.
4.3.
Yeah, Lilly down 4.3. I'm afraid to look
Yeah.
at. Ooh, boy, I'm
Some
afraid to
people
look at
wanted
my
to
fives.
say that Lily's move on the downside was the whole Twitter scandal. I don't think that had anything to play with what the downside angle was in
Wait, wait,
Lily.
wait. Help me
Um,
there.
so I don't know if you've seen Joel, but and I'll kind of take the charts away so we could talk about it really quickly. But in Twitter, there was this whole problem that's been going on where brands are being, getting that verification check, and it's not really that brand. They're kind of making fake branded accounts and putting out like bad content. I'll just say bad content there. It looks like also Nintendo was kind of made fun of
Really?
and things like
I
that.
saw
So
that.
so Elon, it looks like this morning, it looks like Twitter actually stopped the verification process this morning. So they're just in a battle. They don't know which way they're heading towards it right now. And it just looks to me more and more how sometimes when taking over a company, maybe it might be best for Elon to hire somebody that knows about this space and can really bring it higher than himself driving the boat. This is the reason why Tesla investors are so concerned. And it looks like I just saw in the report that he's actually working out of the Twitter office. So that's not a good thing, I think, in my eyes, if I was a Tesla investor, that he's so focused on Twitter that he's working out of the office.
Do
So
you
it
think?
looks,
Do you? I mean, I'm gonna throw this out here, and
yeah,
and everybody's totally gonna disagree with me, but I mean, it almost seems like he wants to lose money. I mean, the way
yeah.
the way that he's gone about this whole thing. I mean, it just seems. I just it's not. You know, I mean, we're not geniuses. And obviously, he didn't build a company like him and become a couple $100 billionaire. But just the timing, the valuations, and I know he couldn't have got out of it, but it's just like it just gets worse and worse and worse, and just every day. So I don't know. I mean, the Tesla stock did rebound here. We did get that. That's up
Yeah.
433. So, the banks have exposure. He talked about it going bankrupt, but it just seems like if these are calculated moves to lose money, he's doing one hell of a job. But we
And don't
also
forget,
let's go back to this rotation because this is
yeah.
something.
Yeah, and don't forget, also
Don't
Elon
forget
could
what.
be selling more shares, right? He still could be selling some more shares, and it would be reported probably today if he did that. So it could be a Form 4 after the closing that says Elon sells some more. We'll have to wait and
Mm,
see. Honestly, it's just one of those things that I'll just put on
good
your
call.
mind if you're a Tesla investor out there. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but
So
it's a
you think that's
possibility.
what pressured it down in the morning?
Exactly.
You think
Is
is
the
that's what pressured it down in the morning? This
like
piece
change
here, he
agent
sold
says,
another piece.
Elon is on the tax loss harvesting right now. He's trying to get back some of that money. He might have
Wow.
to
I don't
soon
know.
if Twitter goes bankrupt. There, it's not going to be a good thing. And he even commented on that's not out of the realm. He even told Twitter employees that that's not out of the realms. That if they can't turn the ship around, could go bankrupt. But let's get out of the Twitter talk. Too much Elon talk for me. Let's go back to the
Yep.
stocks. Let's take a look at the rotation that we saw turn against the defensive stocks, like even Lockheed Martin.
Lockheed Martin, now that I mean, that looks like a mild decline compared to these healthcare stocks. I mean, I don't think this is, any, this is rotation. I don't think, of course, you get some talk about what's going on with the war. These stocks had big runs. This is a mild profit taking, at least it looks like at this point. But what you got to keep an eye on is, man, like where's support, in these things. The kind of run that it had since October 17th, that thing moved $100 off that low. So, when these kind of moves come, if you have an area or you had a target and you missed it, just don't get a penny wise and a pound foolish, because this could be just a start of these moves to the downside. We got LMT, and then what else? Other defense contractors,
You can look at
Raytheon. Yeah,
RTX, yeah, Raytheon, nice little pullback there. Of course, there's some other stocks like NOC, Northrop
yeah.
Gunman, that came back. But one thing that I'll say, of course, this isn't the industrial sector overall, and at least that area isn't showing so much weakness today. There's some areas here that I think that we need to keep on watch. You guys know how I already feel about the cat. The cat's out the hat, that's for sure.
Oh,
And look
did
at
they?
that
Did
stock continuing up higher. Sneaky, sneaky.
yeah.
Some people aren't
Wow.
even noticing this cat move,
I,
right?
I I will say this is not a rotation that, makes me super happy, because of the, going out of the value and the junk. It's like, okay, I missed the rally. I gotta get deployed. What hasn't moved? What's junky? Let's buy it and let's try and ride it up. So
Yeah.
um,
That's not
we
a good
had
sign though, but
no, not a good
I,
sign for the market at all.
I think what's an important sign is, of course, keeping up on the market breadth data. I saw the SMA 200, 34% of stocks finally getting back above the SMA 200. I had seen this get as low as near 13%, never over 40% in this bear market. If this gets over 40%, I'm going to be really starting leaning even further bullish as we start seeing stocks get in bullish territory on their SMA 200. We'll see what happens out there in the markets. But even like a stock like GE, look at the sneaky rally that it's had in the last 1.1 month, about 24 bars. And this is an area where I think a lot of people are just not thinking about industrials because it doesn't seem like maybe the sexy trade, but it could be getting a nice lift. Another area, UPS. Look at UPS today.
I just got to draw a trend line here because this is like
Yeah,
the
draw
biggest
it.
rally
We'll see if it continues that
right
push,
here.
right?
There we go. I mean, it's not
I like it.
exactly right. You can do it on your own at home, but you got oh, come on, come on. You got that channel up, and this one, we'll keep an eye on this one, and then you got this channel hand over here. I mean, ho ho ho. I mean, it's pretty wonky the way I did it, but do that on your own, and keep an eye on it, because eventually this is GE, right? You're gonna take
Yeah.
out It's gonna take out the bottom of this one. Beamer, how's Beamer doing? IBM, big day for IBM. So it's not all. I mean, it's not. It's a this is a tough day. It's a tough day
Yeah.
because not everything that's had these runs is getting killed. It's very selective, and this Beamer, I mean, we've been talking about this for a while, on the most underperforming big stock, tech stock, and now you're coming up on some monthly areas here at 145. Hasn't been over that before COVID. It was, but whew, what a day!
I heard someone mention about a Cat D9 Turbo. Woo! What a monster. That's what we call a monster tractor right there. That is I love watching the show Gold Rush, so I see those D9s used all the time. But let's talk about FDX. FedEx, will it close the gap? I talked about it today on live trading.
Whoa, you
Junaid
got
was looking at this one, and I was like, man, honestly, I think I could see this gap even filling. At least 180 seems like it's in reach, And today, not having a bad day at all, continued the rip up there towards around 175 right now.
This would have been a good one to pull up yesterday, because we
Ah.
had the old yesterday chart, hindsight capital. The reason I put this line in was because that was the high after the gap down day, right?
Hmm.
And you punched through it yesterday, and then today you probably even topped yesterday's range, right? So yeah, you stuck a buck within yesterday's range and off to the races. For me, the gap fill comes in at 203.22. Who don't say never. And you know who else is just in the gap area? Never really gave you a chance. Meta gapped up the other day. That has a gap to fill at 128.53. I'm just throwing these targets out here just because there's nothing else in there. The Googs, Microsoft back 250. This thing gets above 250. Look out to the upside. The Googster, a little bit restrained today. That's got a gap to fill up to 103.02. Amazon, this has had a monster couple days. This is, we got a roadblock here at 105, but between 105 and 1077, that would be a nice gap fill for Amazon. And as we said, Tesla, it could have been Tesla came in this morning, sold on this opening bar here, couldn't take out the low of the move. This, from a technical standpoint, whatever's going on with Twitter or anything, you got a nice little base here at 180. So unless there's no bad news coming down to the pipeline, I wouldn't. Oh, you're taking out this high here, not quite yet, 195.89. As much as I like to, pick on this stock, this chart after making, those couple lows, boom. We'll see what happens with Elon and his selling. If it gets some legs here, 208.90. I think that's going to be the high for the week. So that'd be your next target on the upside.
So defensive is a mixed bag today, right? And I think that's what we've been showing too also here is that certain value trades definitely rotated away, but certain value trades are actually also showing up. That's why I brought up some industrials, but take a look here at a discount store that is setting up, I think, to go ahead and do
Oh,
another gap fill, a bigger one, Target.
Target. I knew you were going to say that. Target, big day for Target. Where's the gap? This has a big dog. This is
Yeah, it's a
going
bigger one on
back.
the daily. It goes
Oh, look
back.
at that. Yeah.
That's a big
Whoa,
gap.
whoa, 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 whoa. 209.13. Holy mackerel.
Sleepy chart
Um,
sideways.
this is a tough one, but you do have that gap area in here. I noticed just the incredible, just Walmart. I just was looking at that stock during the decline, and that held tough. That needs to get through the 144. Let's see here. Kohl's back up over 30. Macy's gearing up for the holiday season. Looks like that has a little bit more room up to a 2178. S&P sneaking up here near the highs of the sessions, and we do have big retail. We do have retail reports coming out next week. S&P's now trying to grab some momentum going into the close. 4009.75 stands as your high. For some reason, I don't think that's going to stand as the high of the day.
All right, and the last one, maybe. What do you think about Amazon's comeback? I was able to play that one today. I've been looking for Amazon to come back a little bit, and it came back way more than I thought it would. Back over 100.
Yeah, we'll take a come on, easy, Mike. Triple Rich only takes place. It's a quad witch and only takes place in March, June, September, and December. You, will be the third Friday next Friday. So there'll be an options expiration, but we
But
don't
not a
have a
triple.
quad witch. Yeah.
Yeah.
This it took my eye off this thing, and 2 day. I mean, it just wouldn't go anywhere. I think your clear sign here was when it above 92, and it actually that day it had a $2 gap. It got above 92. First things first is 105. pair of highs there, 104.58, 104.87. And then, as we mentioned, the gap fill in that one would be 109.77.
Well, it looks like Santa Claus is coming to town. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if he's bringing coal this year,
What
or is he bringing the gifts?
What about you, man? What are you doing for you gonna take off for the holidays?
I don't know, man. I have, family is trying to meet up in Puerto Rico, but I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to go ahead and do that trip or not. A lot of it is the expenses of flying this year. Of course, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but those airline tickets, they ain't cheap and they ain't bringing them down any lower. You know how like normally you're like, well, I'll
I
wait
know.
until they bring it down a little bit, or they'll bring it down at some point. No, this is not the game anymore. If you take a look at even like Google Flights that tracks a lot of the trends, you'll see a lot of times they just bottom and they just stay flat sideways. What is that? That's the algorithm not allowing the price to get cheaper. Reason why? They have now their kind of specific margins that I feel like airlines are trying to meet on every single flight. Not one single flight can get around this margin. And the reason I know this is because you can see it when they cancel flights. There's a reason why they've canceled so many flights nowadays. And the reason why, they don't make business sense to them. And then quickly, if it doesn't make business sense, they'll cut that flight out. And so I think this is going to be a matter of that the airlines will make their money in the holidays, even if higher prices of oil, even if higher prices of wages for the companies, they're going to make their money regardless. So that's why maybe airlines is a good outlook in the long run. Maybe the Jets ETF, right? I haven't heard that one in a while. Looks interesting right now.
Yeah, I just pulled up the love chart for you love traders. You got a real
You
good level of bank
love
on here.
traders.
39, just 39 and change, 39.20, 39.26. Also the high here, 39.14. So boom, you establish a bid over 39. That stock looks good. Someone new in the chat looks like Balo Fairs asking to look at the snap chart. A snap is snapping back. Woo-hoo. That filled the cap, then some. I don't know. I can't give you much here. Let's see. This high was 1185. What did you get today? You got to 1182. That's just one high in that area. Maybe if you're holding out for some more, there are a pair of highs in the lower 12 handle, 12, 17, 12 and a quarter. And then you got the gap fill at 1244. So there you go. There's some levels. What I will say, at least from today's session, is that it's up there. It's up near the high, and it looks like it's closing near the high. So look for a push through that 1182. On Monday, you did have the nice 2-day move. So I don't know. Not really. Try and hold on for dear life. Let's look at pins, PINs. Where's that? 20. Man, that thing is like a yo-yo. That's having a good 2-day move. I guess with uh, uh, philosophy here is maybe money's coming out of Twitter. It has to go somewhere else. It's going to go to these
Yeah, that
platforms.
could
Does
be.
that?
That could be
Yeah,
not a bad outlook at least, right?
it's probably
And
helping
I
all
think
these
that
stocks.
I know that this market rally isn't hurting many. I know that much at least. So we'll see what happens. Meta almost making back some of that gap after really
Hmm.
getting destroyed off their earnings. So that's not a bad outlook. Looks like in the chat, and I gotta ask about this change agent telling me about maybe is it Rob Friesen's theory on oils going higher?
Yeah, he's got the bullish jets on that.
Ah,
Yeah, and a lot of
I'll have to
it
talk
is
to my
a
man
lot of it's
Rob.
yeah. We'll get him on. Maybe we'll get him on next week. What
Yeah, we
his
got to get Rob on.
the weak dollar is what he's predicating it on. So
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
a lot of that, and he thinks that's going to be a driving force, for commodities. Now, we
Mm.
don't want to, we want to keep commodity prices down to fight inflation. But looking at the crude oil here. I mean, it's been in a trade. Snuck over 90 yesterday. It has big moves and it has big pullbacks. So, man, tough chart in that today. I don't know. Can it get back over 90? Let's just look for the high close for the rebound. That's something when I see a wonky chart like this. On Monday, you closed at 91.79. You spent a little time over that on Tuesday at 92.17. Get back over to take out that high close. Oh, actually, a high close for the move was 92.61. But this is a tough chart, man. Crude's tough. S&Ps did get a buy balance, but turned back as we were trying to make new highs in the session. They're trying to get this thing to settle with a four handle in the S&Ps. That's the battle. Where it's right now printing 4,000. So 4 minutes to go. It has to be balances. Those buying balances probably squared off pretty quickly after this big rally.
Yeah, now one area that I've been looking at is what about the TLT and maybe even looking into something like JNK, like high yield bond ETF. I'm looking at that one also, thinking about starting some exposure in these. I don't have one now, but thinking about starting it. What do you think about these areas, Joel?
Junk. Uh, I
The
got a
junk bonds.
I got a clear level here for this one.
Yeah.
Definitely room up to 91.70. Here 91.77. Let's just call it 92. Boom. Get above there. TLT. I think just gaps. Or I guess you know what? I'm going to put up the bond chart, see if I get anything cleaner. Well, the bonds are closed today, right? So you got the move. I the only thing about this is, I mean, we got one good CPI data reading. So
Mhm.
if you want to turn on that and be early, I mean, these things have definitely got the tar kicked out of them, and they've come off the lows. So there's identifiable entry and exit points here for the TLT. Looking at the highs from last week or this week, 98.43, and that was yesterday, 98.37. Uh, Close for the yesterday was 98 and a quarter. So you get this and maybe get back to par in the TLT.
Easy
Twitter. I
talking about
Twitter
how,
is no longer, yeah,
yeah, Twitter is
more
just
more
a.
Twitter talk now.
I think Twitter's just more of a joke talk now, but that's just how it is. I mean, who knows? All right, let's go
Yeah,
towards.
I'm glad I don't have what to do there.
That's just how it goes right now. I know we've talked about the airlines. I know we've talked about some of the kind of stocks that were down today. Let's go also to maybe checking out some different areas. Consumer cyclical was having a good move in apparel manufacturing. And I did see stocks like Nike have a good day today. And stocks like that in that area have not having a bad day today.
Big day in Nike. I think for at least for Nike, that nice China talk is a catalyst for them.
Hmm.
There's a lot of stocks. I think if you want to do some research over the weekend, I know Biden's going over there, so find out what stocks could benefit by any kind of peace. Or any kind of harmony over there. Okay, we did get the close over 4,000. Not, I think I'm going to call it 40150. Great week for the markets. What happens next week, we don't know. But if you're looking to buy the dip today, you didn't get much of one. That was it off the open. So great job this week, Mitch. Have a good, long, relaxing weekend, and be back with you guys on Monday morning.
Definitely. We'll be back on Monday morning. Don't miss it. Joel, you have a great weekend too. And like always, go blue. We'll see what happens. Not long BTU right now, Daniel. I've been playing it. I played it for like a momentum play, day trade style. And I even swung it earlier in the week. I got stopped out. I can tell you right now. Just give me a second here. Just need to pull up the chart and make sure that I get you the level. It was yesterday when it cut back through towards the 2780 level. That's the level that I had gotten into. Let it broke out. It was looking like it was getting towards the 30. It came back towards that 2870 and I cut it, break even. That's what I do a lot of the times on those swing trades. I'm more than willing to take some profit kind of size out. But it gets to a certain point, and also if the trade comes back to my level, I don't want to play this game of letting it go to my risk and then losing some money on a winning trade. So a lot of times I break even out of the trade. And if I need to, I can always look to come back into the trade versus trying to battle there when it comes back to that break even price point. We'll see you next time. Hit the thumbs up. It was a crazy week. Crypto scandals, CPI, and just wait. Next week might even be crazier, team. We'll have to just wait and see. Hit the thumbs up if you guys appreciated all the action that we had on, of course, Benzinga this week. And if you didn't check out the Fubo interview today, I did an amazing interview, longer than 15 minutes, where you really truly get the deep dive in understanding Fubo stock. So if you guys missed that, that was on the Benzinga live stream. You'll see Benzinga live, Benzinga TV with all access. Check that out. I'll also be releasing it. And like always, we're going to keep growing here, right here on Benzinga. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great weekend and hit the thumbs up. Got to keep growing here and building up the skills.